Hi, everybody. I'm Zach,
I'm Michael.
and these are commentary tracks for Revamplin Gramplin, a new comic episode in June's comic career. So this is the cover, and you can see. So I think Michael, you came up with the cover idea, right?
I recall in this case, I definitely pitched like the offstage angle. I don't think we even came up with any other alternatives.
No, it was. I remember you were like, "Yeah, it's." You had a clear image of Mamplin with Gramplin coming out of like unhooding from Mamplin, pulling up the curtain, and June trying to like wrestle wrestle Mamplin free from this, which is like that's what the episode's about.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then chaos on stage, which scared me a little bit because it's like how do you draw chaos in a reasonable way? Um, yeah,
Reasonable chaos.
reasonable chaos. But I got there. I think.
You did.
Um,
And I think I also did stress like the connection of the chaos. So like Blatzy being lifted up. So you kind of got like a very clear sense of,
oh
Gramplin is responsible for this in some way.
yeah, and because if you noticed in the earlier ones, it was just sort of Blatzy standing on stage. They're not very clear what was going on. This was also the first time that we were playing with the Mindscaped characters. So if you'll notice, way at the beginning there was a shot of that was used to reference them, and that may pop back in a few times. Throughout drawing the pages for this, definitely they were the most fun characters for me to draw, especially Mamplin. The fact that they can be like a little more loose and wild it was just really freeing.
It definitely
Uh,
speaks to your sensibilities, I think, a little bit more in terms of the way you
they're
tend to go.
I think the way we've described them is like they're Muppets. Uh,
Yeah,
they're Muppets. They get the like mouths and the googly eyes essentially.
we just have a lot of Cookie Monsters on stage. Or maybe it's not Cookie
Yeah,
Monster. I'm trying to think of one of the wackier ones, but it's totally fine.
maybe like the two-headed
Mm,
monster or
it's a good, it's a
they
deeper pull
yeah
with a less original
yeah
name, slightly than Cookie
yeah.
Monster, I guess. Um, yeah, you of course went all in on the details of just like how does the rope work? How do I tie the knot?
Although I do remember getting the beard for Abraham Lincoln wrong the first time. I was just like, it's a beard, and then I was like, oh yeah, Abraham Lincoln has a specific beard. So I think you'll see that change from the like old man style beard that you just saw
Mm-hmm.
there. We also got our students 1, 2, and 3, who will never have
Mm-hmm.
names, in their robber
Which is
costumes.
always so funny when we wind up in a situation where because they're not seen here was obviously there was a drafting process for the historically accurate theater troupe members. Um, but like
Yep.
the cover, we have to do some planning beforehand because, oh, right, the cover is going to be indicative of characters that show up. And this would be the first time that Zach is drawing them rather than in the comics. So we needed to go through some of that. Um,
Oh, and here's some tweaking with. We started playing more with. There's some atmospheric perspective going on. Oh, and now we're getting to color references. I remember this. I remember changing making June look a little more strained in the
mm-hmm.
pose. And probably, I think you're about to see me fixing the beard on Blatzy
And you're
too,
about to
because that
see
was.
Gramplin's pose change altogether
Oh yeah, that's right. Because
because
Gramplin's pose was like more
well, yeah,
constrained.
Gramplin's pose initially was just more like matter of fact, and I I'm pretty sure you'll see a reference photo of me uh as I
Yeah, we
as I
will.
set an alternate option for Zach. Um,
Yeah, there's the beard
mm-hmm.
fix. Oh yeah, there you are, Michael.
The craziest part about that is I am wearing the exact shirt that I am in that photo right now as we're recording this. That's
Weird.
very unnerving. I did not plan that.
I think I captured your expression there with
Yeah,
Gramplin
it's
pretty well.
definitely a situation where anytime that I'm providing references for you, I take probably 10 to 20 photos of just attempts
Oh wow.
before I'm even probably remotely satisfied. I fortunately,
Did
yeah,
not
I
know that.
fortunately also, no, it's not an arbitrary thing. You kidding? You know me. Um,
Yeah. I guess I'm not surprised. I just yeah.
like they're at a later point, I think, no, for the comic that we're currently working on, um,
Yeah.
I definitely like recorded video because I wanted to kind of get uh different emotional range takes for you. Uh and
Hmm.
I don't know if those proved helpful in the expression that you gave June ultimately, but we'll see.
Oh, I remember those. Yeah, those were helpful. I
Yeah,
liked them. They
that
got
was
it.
me just being like, okay, I know tonally where I want this to be. What's the face that goes with that? Um and this is now I'm going in through and coloring. Uh this was one that actually I was I also was a little anxious about because there's a lot of color and trying to sort of unify it without making anything pull focus too terribly much is always, because you're obviously trying to make the foreground elements stand out the most. Um, but you also want to ensure that everything within the background is something that the audience can, snap onto and go, hey, what's that? So that was sort of something that you'll see me, I guess, adjust and struggle with.
Speaking of colors, something that we like didn't really need to communicate. We eventually talked about it was that we used for the theater here as a reference. Our high school theater building, the PAC. We colored the stage
Although
different.
initially I
What?
wasn't sure because our mother, the theater teacher, I wasn't sure if in terms of while our the PAC has red curtains, our mother's middle school that she taught at had dark blue curtains, and so there was a brief period where I was thinking that I might be going with a deep blue, but I think conventionally speaking, most are familiar with uh, red theater curtains. And also in terms of texture, full disclosure, I definitely goof up in later pages and don't match the same wood patterning on the floor. Uh,
Oh no! What a
I know it's
tragedy.
something that I mean, I suppose I could have gone back and rewatched this footage to verify which pattern I used. But that is only occurring to me right now. So, whoops.
I think people will forgive you on that, Michael.
I
I
don't know
forgive
about that,
you.
man. I don't know about.
Oh, that's some pretty vignetting
Thank you.
going
Yeah,
on.
I've definitely started leaning into the vignetting, and then am like again trying to make sure that the foreground elements are brighter, but also characters can at least be seen a little bit. I think I adjusted Gramplin's opacity a bit as well to try to make it so um, at least, I mean, student 2 is in probably the worst possible position, just being directly behind both, well, 2 and 3, being both behind Vince and Gramplin, whereas student 1 pretty apparently and featured. Yeah, now I'm just dealing with 1 million shaders and trying to make things really pop. But yeah, that is the cover of Revamplin Gramplin. Thanks all.
Bye bye.